I've just routed out some holes in the floor that's going to be in the garage on the underside, obviously, for our 230 volt cables to go in between. So to save having 9 meters of the stuff going up and over the rear doors behind the bodywork, to save weight and cable, I'm just going to slot it in under there, like so. I've got 2 lots of 4mm flex core Arctic blue, and then we've got one 16mm squared red, which slots in lovely, to be honest. That is going to feed a second fuse box. The reason for the second fuse box is because the lighting is shocking. The reason for the second fuse box is so that I don't have to run all my 2.5mm cables all down the right hand side of the vehicle to then somehow try and get across to the left hand side of the vehicle, the passenger side. So I'm just going to feed a 16mm cable under the floor, and then I've got fuse boxes both sides. So this is how we're insulating this time round. I am using the 15mm lightweight buffalo board, and I am sticking on top of that 7mm closed cell, and then that is going to be bonded to the van floor. I've seen other YouTubers doing this. Come on, camera thing, follow me. Keep going, that's it. So yeah, that's all I've done. This stuff, it's only 7mm, self-adhesive, so literally just peel and stick. I'm just going to tape up the joints. It actually gives you a bit of a damp-proof course as well, so if any moisture does happen to get behind your underneath this, it will go into the channels in the natural floor of the van and run out and be able to escape. So that's what we're doing today. This stuff was a lot cheaper. In the past I've used some big name brand closed cell flexible stuff like this before, and you go through so much of it that I thought I'd give the cheaper stuff a try, and so far it's the same stuff. It is exactly the same stuff. In fact, there's certain things that I prefer about it. So I don't know if you can see the texture on this, but it's got like a checkered pattern about 3mm apart, so you can use that as a guide when you're cutting it. The other big name brands, not mentioning any names, have some big squares on the backing paper which you can use to follow. It's a lot harder to cut than this. This is so easy to cut just with scissors. Okay, that's the garage area biscuited into place. So I've got one more that's at the front, and we'll see how we get on with this. So the process is polyurethane sealant on the ribs and on the bits of wood, gluing the biscuits on the piece that's already down, get the new piece in, line up the biscuit slot in, glue it down, and then maybe today, but we are losing the light, maybe tomorrow, we'll get some screws in through into these strips of ply. Well, say it weren't even supposed to be a van build day, I've got a lot done. The flooring has actually been cut for a few days. I was waiting for the 7mm closed foil insulation, which came today while I was at work. So after work, I thought, right, I'll just put it on. I'll put the insulation on the back, and then I thought, well, I'll just put it in. So yeah, it's done. So it's all biscuit jointed. So this panel was biscuit jointed outside of the vehicle. So this entire, from wheel arch to wheel arch, the biggest panel, was done outside of the vehicle. And then we could put these ones in, lined up the biscuits, hammered in a couple of wedges down that side, just to hold it in place. There is a slight gap, but they're exactly the same level, so I can fill that in. To be honest, I probably won't even bother. And then this side, I've got my cheeky little, I've routed out some tracks underneath for some 4mm 240 volt multi-strand Arctic blue cable, and I've got a 16mm squared red cable to feed a second fuse box that's going to be this side, because this side's going to be my electrical side. But then rather than running, say I want a USB socket over there, rather than run it all the way down here, up and over, I decided I'll just have a second fuse box. So that is going there. Need to do a little bit more dodo mat on there, because I've done more on that side. Then I'm going to thermo line those in the 10mm stuff. and then we'll crack on with insulating. My Scova beams are in. Scova beam brackets are in. So yeah, that's ready to go. But it is going to slide out. I'm going to have another rail here. So it's going to be a double bed, but then it's going to slide out to this orange mark here. And then that's going to be a massive 2 metre long bed. Because I don't sleep well in short beds. So yeah, that's it for today. Catch you on the next one.